Well, good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to this video series on early seed funding, how you can raise more money faster with sweeteners. My name is Michael Scott, and this is a follow-on video to the three-part series on raising early seed funding. In this short video, I'm going to touch on ways you can make your investment more attractive to early seed investors by using sweeteners. What I'm sharing is tactics for early seed money, like your first $500,000 or so, before you're ready for professional angels. So what is a sweetener? It's an additional attraction to your investment that makes it more desirable. Consider a cake that has no frosting on it. If you're hungry enough, perhaps you would want to have a piece. Now, what if that cake was frosted? Which cake are most people more likely to choose to eat? They're both cake, but one is much more desirable. It works the same way with early seed money and less experienced investors. If you can make the investment more attractive, and especially if you can make it appear to have less risk, the more likely you are to close the deal. And sweeteners can also help you get that check right away. Now, I'm not offering legal advice, and it's mandatory that before you raise money, you engage an attorney experienced in securities transactions. Nor am I going to touch on issues like liquidity events or dissolution events, which all agreements address, or any of the other legalese or issues that can change the condition of the agreement. That's between you and your attorney. We're going to keep this discussion at a high level and not get into the weeds, so you can be clear on the basic concepts, not the details. Seed money is typically raised using one of two forms of agreements, a safe contract or a convertible note. Sweeteners can be offered regardless if you're using a safe contract or convertible notes. Again, at a high level, both type of agreements convert into stock in the future, and typically they convert at a discount to the stock price of a future equity event, which most often is a preferred stock offering, like a Series A round. It's that discount where sweeteners start. How much to discount the conversion? This is also where selling the sweeteners to a prospective early seed money investor begins, emphasizing how much their investment is guaranteed to increase in the future because it's already baked into the deal, since the early seed investor is going to get their stock for less than future investors will pay because of the discount. Keep in mind that there are two types of safe contracts, and with the other form, their investment converts at a valuation cap, which is a harder concept to grasp for a less experienced investor, so it will be challenging with most friends and MLE investors to use a valuation cap safe contract for early seed money. In the case with a convertible note, however, it accrues interest monthly until the note reaches maturity, which is usually after 18 to 24 months. And that represents another sweetener opportunity. How much interest to pay on the note? There are advantages to using convertible notes when raising early seed funding from less experienced investors. Because if they have ever taken out a loan for a car, school, home, credit card, and everyone has, then the fact that they start by investing in a note that accrues interest is a very familiar structure to them. More important, the fact that their note accrues interest means, regardless of what is happening at the company, their investment is guaranteed to increase in value, at least until the note matures. The familiarity with a note that accrues interest, increasing their investment, can often be the difference between them investing and saying no. The risk to them appears to be minimized as they are guaranteed a return on their investment for the first 2 years. Even if that return converts into stock in the end, the concept is still the same. Now let's talk about ways to really put some frosting on the investment. A common concept to use is adding warrants to the deal. Warrants give the investor the right to buy stock in the future at a fixed price, called the exercise price. Warrants must be exercised within a fixed period, like 5 years or 7 years, and then they expire. Usually the warrant exercise price is set above the price of the current investment, but because of the long exercise right, the company's stock will hopefully be much higher before the warrants expire. The quantity of warrants is usually expressed as a percentage of the original investment. An example would be if an investor invests $50,000 that has a 10% warrant coverage, they will receive warrants for an additional 5,000 shares. The quantity of warrants and the exercise price are both sweetener opportunities. Warrants are best used to motivate an investor to write a bigger check, structured as a standard part of the investment, and can also be used to help them pull the trigger on the investment within a time frame, like 7 days. Remember, for the investor, this is like getting a deal. They get to exercise their warrants years in the future when hopefully your stock has gone up significantly in value. And for you, a warrant only becomes stock when it gets exercised, and many expire before they do. And when they are exercised, you get another investment. Another variation that can be used in combination with warrants is to give the investor additional shares if they sign docs and wire funds by a certain date, usually 10 days or less. These are shares they will own outright at the moment of their investment, which can be a powerful motivator. Now, everybody talks about dilution, and you can read lots of articles about it. But in almost every case, the article is talking about angel and venture capital investors. When you're raising early seed money before you're ready for angels and VCs, your investor prospects rarely know enough to even ask about what percentage of the company their investment represents. And you should be talking about single-digit dilution numbers anyway. By all means, do the calculations before setting up an investment structure and any sweeteners. You don't want to find out later you gave away the farm too early. But most of the time, you're talking about survival, and it's very early in the game. A lot can happen along the way to your IPO. My advice is to be careful setting amounts of everything, but don't get hung up on sweeteners. They're not going to make a significant difference in your ownership, but they can have everything to do with your survival. Having enough cash or going broke and losing everything. Of course, there are all kinds of variations you can develop using the concepts presented in this video. So be creative. Just remember, which of these cakes would you pick? Make your investment more attractive for early seed money by adding sweeteners. Okay, I hope you found this short video on sweeteners helpful, and that it in some way contributes to your success building your company. Be sure to check out the other videos in this series if you haven't already. I thank you again so much for spending time with me today, and feel free to email me or connect with me on LinkedIn if you like. Just please note in your message that you saw this video. I would appreciate it. Again, I'm the original Michael Scott. May God bless your work, you, your family, and keep you safe. Peace out.